need you again. Things were looking great from the start, then you changed so soon. Oh, I know I said it before, but please change back soon. So take a step forward for you and 3 steps back, 'cause you don't wanna move along at all. And guess this is how it ends. Is this how you want us to end? So you walk away from what we had. Now you're looking at it upside down. Fall away, show notice. Now you're probably still on the ground. Now I see why. Never ever will need you again.
Right.
Well, we're live. Go.
As you guys all heard the giant truck just zip by my house.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, it picked it up because I didn't mute the stream in time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Traveler's Tavern. With me today, I have 4242. She is filling in for Filia. She's had to take her mom somewhere, so just give them good vibes. We got Mina
Hi.
and the special guest, the Burb Man, Raven.
I am the Birdman Cuckoo Cachoo.
Hey, what's up, Patience? How you doing? Actually, he is now Bird Jesus. Just remember that.
Glad somebody appreciated what I just said.
I loved what you said. But I also was looking for an opportunity to call you Bird Jesus, because
I'll
so you know.
accept it. I'll accept it.
And hello, guys.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
We have any questions for Raven? You know, just ask them.
Yeah.
Because
I'm pretty sure this random person named Patience is definitely going to ask a ton.
oh yeah, this
Probably.
Patience person. I'm hoping this
I-
Patience person hits me with a bunch of dad jokes while she's in the chat.
Speaking of dad jokes, Raven, your live streams, your dad used to show up all the time. I haven't seen him in your live streams lately.
That is so very true.
Hold on. Vidith, my man, what's up?
Yo, it's Vidith.
Hello.
So,
Yeah, so that's true. I don't have a reason as to why, unfortunately. He just doesn't show up anymore.
weird.
It happens.
Well, I figure he may be busy or something, but I just remember him always being there. And then all of a sudden he was gone.
Yeah.
So, just let him know that we're thinking about him, at least.
For sure. Yeah, no, he is fine. There is nothing wrong or restricting him from showing up. He is just not there anymore. Yeah, that's about all I can say about that, unfortunately, because I don't have a real reason.
Okay.
It could be, and this just sounds bad, but it's not meant to sound bad. It could be that the novelty wore off. At first, like, when you're on YouTube, he was all excited. He's like, you're on YouTube, and now he's just like, okay, it's just YouTube.
That's possible.
What's up, Boggs?
That's how I feel it happens with everything. It's just right.
My-
Whatever.
My granddaughter still is like, woohoo, YouTube.
I'm just gonna
She's
take
mad
mine.
because her mommy makes her stay on YouTube Kids now and won't let her get on other channels like mine and yours. So the only time she gets to hear any of them is when she's over here,
Nice. Yeah.
and I can supervise her completely.
Right. That's kind of
And
a
Mandy has arrived, and the Boggs is here.
Boggs.
Welcome,
Hello.
everybody.
Mandy, hello.
Yeah, she's like 7 years old, so she needs somebody to keep an eye on what she's doing.
Everybody, in case you guys didn't catch it, Mandy had a premiere at 6:30. So after the show's over, y'all should check that out. And also,
I missed it.
Raven just dropped his next video, newest video recently, and it is the third part of a series that Ghostink is writing, and the series is absolutely phenomenal. So if you guys haven't caught up on that one, do so. If you have, check out the new one.
Yeah, we do that.
Yes. I do believe the name of the series is the Nevermore series.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Just
it
because
is.
it doesn't really have like an official like name. It's just that's pretty much what he calls it. So, yeah, it's been a really good series. Absolutely have been enjoying it. I've been kind of drip feeding it, unfortunately, to the channel because he's been going through some stuff and hasn't had a whole lot of time. Namely that he lost his computer, so that's kind of a big deal.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
his computer should be coming this week. He said.
Yes.
Yay!
Julius is here. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Who's that? Oh, Count Julius? Yeah. What's
Yeah.
up, Count? What is up, my friend?
Hey, Gamma.
How do I word?
Hey, Gamma.
Hey, Gamma.
Gamma.
So, Raven, you got any new writing projects in the works?
Always. Way too many. Will they be finished anytime in the near future? Probably not. You know me. No, but seriously, I have tons of stuff I want to write, stuff I need to write. I hope within the next month or two to finally get my actual writing, like my writing from prior to being Raven, starting to get that published over under this moniker. So hopefully
Nice.
it happens. That's my intent over the next month or two. And then I started stripping down all my stuff with my real name on it. So
what I'm hearing is Raven
Always looking forward to
stripping.
new Raven stories.
Yeah, I know. I
Actually,
caught that 242.
Isn't it whenever they remove their feathers? Isn't that called preening? So
It is called preening.
Raven is.
fair
so,
enough.
So
I
that's
have
what
been-
Raven is doing.
I have been preening out anything that has my real name on it, if you will. But no, seriously, I've been trying to just get that off the internet, get it removed, so I can start publishing under my pseudonym and actually get it out there.
Nice.
Yay!
Yeah.
Been waiting for you to do that.
Oh, me too.
I need to get my button gear and start getting
Prior
ready
to
for
Raven, he was known as Kitten.
get ready to release my first book. I've been procrastinating on that one hardcore.
Not as hardcore as I have. I've been procrastinating since 1997.
Fair. Yes, Boggs. Prior to Raven, I was known as Kitten. Not sure how you know that, but I think you and I need to have a talk after the show about.
I think it
how
was
you
just
know.
the fact that you're so good at judging kittens that you had to be a cat.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. That is fair. That is fair. You have a very
And the fact that you can judge a squirrel without even batting an eyelash, definitely a cat.
yes.
You know, when I gotta say, whenever you pulled that squirrel up, I thought you were gonna name it Red, and then you named it Nut, and I'm like,
Don't ask questions, especially whenever it comes to my April 1st videos. Don't ask questions.
just
I loved
appreciate.
it.
A lot of people did, unfortunately, because now it's like I should probably keep doing those.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
pretty funny, and it definitely sound like you had lots of fun doing it.
I did. It.
I
I will
rate-
admit.
I rate-
It took... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it took me way longer than I expected it to, but I did enjoy it. So
I was gonna say I rate all of your April 1st videos a solid 8 out of 10.
thank you. That's what I strive for. I don't strive for perfection. I strive for just under perfection, but above mediocrity. That way, there's still room for improvement, but I'm better than a lot. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Goodness, I think we're all waiting on that.
Well, I hate to tell you this. It's going to be another year before there's another one. Sorry.
No, Goodness says just waiting on Raven's audiobook mixtape. No meme.
Raven's audiobook mixtape.
No meme.
Okay. I guess.
I want to read Patience's books too.
Her books are children's books for children.
So
I have a 7-year-old granddaughter.
I feel like 7 might be slightly too old. Because they are definitely children's books. But those, unfortunately, also have my real name on them because I helped.
oh no. Fur face.
Are you okay?
And
Patience put.
Oh, yes, gotcha. Thanks, Patience.
Sorry.
Look, y'all knew it was going to be chaos the second you asked me to be on here.
It's gonna be chaos because PA's on here. Okay.
PA's
I
here.
just
It's
make it
chaos,
worse.
chaos incarnate. And then I invite my feathered friend of chaos, you know.
then
Consider
I'm
me-
here.
It's like, consider me the amplifier in this case.
That's fine.
Oh,
Just don't turn
Mars
to
should be fun,
11.
Raven.
No, I won't go to 11. 10 and a half at most.
I don't. Wait, I'm always set 15. So what's that mean?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What, 25 and a half?
I was the cause of MCT having to make sure her stream wasn't monetized.
You were.
Uh,
Badge you wear with pride, my friend, and there's nothing
I
wrong
do.
with
I
that.
wear that with pride. I'm like, I told her, I'm like, I promise I won't. I promise I won't do that again on purpose. If it happens again, it's totally on accident.
Anytime you can potentially get your friend's channel demonetized is a time you should celebrate. So long as they also celebrate with you.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, she
to
didn't seem
be.
like she was too mad, so I'm like, okay, I'm not in trouble this time.
This
It wasn't too bad. It was all right, PA, watch what you're saying, but also
I don't even remember what I said, but
I don't
it wasn't exactly what I said. It was the ensuing chaos that set comment
too.
created.
Yes.
I think I was there for it, and I smacked my head.
That's a common thing we do whenever PA says things.
Yes.
That's just
Yes, it
that
is.
just means it's working. That
Well,
just means it's working.
Because it wasn't what PA
Precisely.
said. It was what everyone else was saying after. It was like, really? You do know this is being live streamed by like 2-3 people.
I believe I was the one who was like, hopefully none of you all are monetizing this, MCT.
Yeah, because MCT was the only one who could have it monetized. So, does anyone have lovely questions for our lovely Raven friend?
You better be lovely questions, though.
So,
So I know you've had several careers.
Yeah.
You actually are educated in my career.
Ah, yes. Is this going to become a
Wait.
tech stream?
No.
Ah, let's do it. Come on. I'm kidding.
Were you in let's see, when you were going to school and working on getting your degree,
Mhm.
did you ever think that you would, or I may be completely out of it on this one, but were you thinking that you would ever do writing or YouTube?
No. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. Prior to starting my collegiate career back in 2009 and 2010. I was not a writer. I had no anticipation that I would ever be writing. I had no expectations that I would ever have any sense of prose whatsoever. And YouTube was such a far off thing that I don't even think back then I even cared what YouTube was. It wasn't until I started working in an office setting in 2012, 2013, that I started listening to narrators. And with that listening to stories, I started writing stories. I started writing as well. And it's whenever I actually got into the office work that I started my writing career. So never anticipated it in any way, shape, or form. And up until 2019, I never anticipated creating a YouTube channel. So I knew, like, prior to that I wanted to, but had no idea what the hell I would do. So
Okay, that's fair.
yeah.
I feel that, Raven, because I actually, while you were talking, I thought about it, and I didn't start listening to YouTube and horror narrations until I got into a job where I'm just like, I have an abundance of free time on my hand. What should I do?
Right. I had less of an abundance of free time and more along the lines of I didn't want to talk to the people I worked with, and I didn't want to be bothered. I did not hate my job. I absolutely despised my manager, looking back. But I did my job. I did it well. I got my work done, and that's all I really cared about. So earphones in, let's read MCT or MCP, Mr. Creepypasta. Yeah, I had to. Wow. Yeah. So
I've done that before too.
Those kinds of channels, those were my distraction from everybody else while I plugged away at information security, specifically governance, risk, and compliance for state and federal governments.
Sounds so intriguing.
Oh, it actually is. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you're the guy who likes numbers.
But bad management can ruin a job. Like, it can be the greatest job ever. If you have a crappy manager, it literally becomes the worst job ever.
And you can...
and IT in general has some of the worst managers because most of the managers in IT don't know anything about IT.
Right. So
they have business management degrees, and that doesn't tell them what they're managing.
Right.
Yeah.
So my
also,
manager...
welcome, X.
Yes. Hello, your ex. My ex, your ex, someone's ex.
Hi, your ex.
So my manager had IT experience, but he was very much old guard in that since he was middle management, he felt he was, big dog for some reason. The management team was very weird where I worked in that I had one manager above me, and then above him was the chief security officer. So it was literally C-suite. So I was one step below C-suite. And I was a nobody. So, yeah, unfortunately, as much as the chief security officer did care whenever I started working there, she hired a director, and then he became a total pain in the ass, and then it all fell apart. They're still around. They got bought by a multi-trillion-dollar corporation that shreds smaller organizations to become them. So hopefully, not hopefully, but possibly they'll be, anyways. Look, I can talk negatively on these people all I want, but I'm past it. I am beyond it. It still tears me apart inside mentally, but I am beyond it.
Oh, I didn't mean to take you there. I just was
No, my thing is, I can just keep going on about it, and I shouldn't, so.
Yeah. I had a couple of good managers who actually understood IT, and then I had others. And, yeah.
Yes. A good manager can certainly make the job better. Like I said, I liked what I did as a job. I liked the other people I worked with, including the satellite offices I had to work with on a daily basis. But in the end, the middle manager that I was under I thought he was okay at first, but by the end of it, I realized he was not a good person.
So, Raven, you said you're writing a bunch of projects. Is there one particular that you're more excited about than the rest?
I kind of started writing what I guess one could say is like an origin story for the Raven as it is. Yes, Silver, thank you. The raisin is on fire.
Hey, Silver.
Welcome, Silver.
So that one I want to finish. I have two more that I started a long time ago that I need to finish. One that some people have read called Dollface, another one called Ivy that I was doing a long time ago.
Oh, nice.
And you know, there's stuff you and I work on. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I have a long list.
I'm really looking forward to getting that story about death done, so you can read it, because I read it. I read what I had to Mia and a few others, and so far it's probably one of my best, either one of or my best story so far.
Right.
As long as I don't screw up the ending. Oh, that's a question I want to ask. I wanted to ask you, because you're a writer. Whenever you get to like the intro and the part of the story, like let's say midway through the story, do you ever start questioning yourself, like just stop writing the story because you don't want to screw it up?
Yes, but that's more a matter of self-esteem than anything. I do that. I have done that, and I've had to try to break through it. In that, I've gotten better, but I still do have that problem, and then I have several unfinished projects because I don't know where to go with it next. My fourth novel that I wrote was absolutely like my proudest moment as an author, and I started the second one, and I don't have the drive to continue on with it because I don't want to screw it up considering how good the first one was.
I think there's also, I don't know if you guys have this, but for me, and I've told a couple of people this before, is if I release a video on a story, that doesn't mean that's the final form of that story.
Right.
It may change in 2 months. It may change in less time. It's just that at that moment, that's where that story was. I have a hard time of leaving things alone and not adding to them.
Right.
Because I feel like I never want to end a story.
Right. I have a very similar problem just because I've had stories that I've written where I feel like the ending shouldn't be where it stops.
Mm-hmm.
My most recent one, Time Has Forgotten My Neighborhood, is one that just kind of ends, and people are like, where's the second part? I'm like, well, there isn't one, because I haven't written a second part. There should be, because it's very open-ended. Yeah. And I want to further explore, like, the ideology behind, like, The Last Sunset, where that went, and, you know, the science behind it, I guess. But I definitely do struggle with the finality, I guess, of the endings of stories.
Yeah.
Because I don't appreciate the finality. I don't like stories ending. I don't like the world ceasing to exist.
Yeah.
In both a literal and non-literal sense.
Yeah, I got that too. The music is really, really good tonight. She's just saying. It's 42.
It's on random, so I didn't pick anything.
Well, your random station that I absolutely don't know anything about and have never used in this application, it opts. What's it called? What's it called? Is it called Pratzel? Pertzel?
Yeah, yes,
Pretzel.
totally. It's something you eat.
Partzel?
Partzel.
I typed Patzel. Okay.
Well, I mean, Silver.
I'd be interested if Raven ever wrote a sequel to The Sound of Rain.
Oh.
Well, of course you would, because that was a story I wrote for you.
Yeah, but it ended in such an open-ended way. I would be very intrigued to see where you take it.
Yeah, I could. It'd be interesting. I'd have to further explore the whole rain cult ideology that I had in my head with it.
I mean, there are stories that have obvious. You can't go any further than this, and The Last Sunset is one of those.
Right.
Like
I said,
it's kind of, I could go in the opposite direction, but I can't go past this story because time-wise, there is nothing.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
Unless you go with whoever was running the simulation, I guess you could do that.
Spoiler alert.
See, here I'm
Yeah.
trying to give you.
I mean, it's been out for how long now, and how many people have read it? If you haven't heard it, that's kind of on you.
There's been like 5 people now that have narrated it. I think you're number 5 or 6.
You sell the rights to Marvel and get rich.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. I could do that.
I
Summer.
wouldn't sell rights to Marvel.
Hey, if I got rich off of it, I'd sell it to anybody.
I would give them use of it, but I wouldn't give them total control.
I'm pretty sure that's not how Disney operates. I'm pretty sure they're like, you're going to give it to us.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't do it.
You're gonna give it to us, or we're gonna break your kneecaps for it.
And
It's
Silver
your
says,
choice.
"Oh yes, I have a question. Can I have it?" And I think he's talking about your car again.
He is. Because I specifically put, does no one want to ask more questions about my car? And then tagged him. I'm egging him on. I'm trying to bring him to the forefront. You cannot have my car.
Have you ever thought about turning the stories into a screenplay?
That would be interesting.
Now, that is a question that I've gotten from 13 Past Midnight on my writing.
Right. So that would be awesome, but I will say that would be very complex with how I write some of my stories. Just because, and it may sound weird, but like most of my stories don't have much in ways of dialogue. The Sound of Rain that I wrote for PA, Open Your Eyes I wrote for 242, I don't think either one of them really had much dialogue in them whatsoever. They were very abstract concepts where it was just the situation around the narrator, so to speak.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the only dialogue in there was at the end where whenever the cop showed up.
Right.
There was none in
Right.
mine.
Yeah, there was. I knew there was no dialogue in yours because it was just.
Open your
I'm sorry.
goddamn eyes!
Look, that story is one of my. Both of those stories are my favorite. Some of my favorites, but Open Your Eyes is one of my favorite ones I've written because I wanted to explore that ideology of denial, so to speak, and it worked out pretty well.
It did, but I've never wanted to scream at someone so bad as I'm reading this going, open your goddamn eyes! Why aren't you open your eyes?
Denial's not just a river in Egypt, guys.
No,
also-
it's not.
It's also a monster in your bed.
Eating your
Right?
life.
Spoiler.
Suddenly, I feel out of place. Am I the only one in here that has not had a Raven story on their channel?
Unfortunately, I'll fix that eventually once I get writing them again.
I just realized that.
I'll write you one. I mean, if I know you do other stuff, but if you ever wanted to narrate anything from me personally, they're all on my website and they're all CC by SA. They're all free to use.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I have your website open.
Right, I forgot you have a website. Shoot.
Um,
I forget remember.
I can post the link in the chat.
It's the
I'm a
RavenTube.com, people.
I own the
it's
channel.
very easy. Yeah, I actually one of the assignments that I did in the last 6 months for the Mina group I was in was to actually take a story and write it as a script.
That's awesome. I would love to do that if I could get better at dialogue.
Yeah, it was interesting, and it was because I literally did not take it to that point until I'm getting ready to hand it in, and I'm talking to the assigner instructor, whatever you call her, and she's like, "No, I'm not talking about prose. I really want it in script format."
Right.
And I'm going, I've never done that. And she says, that's why the assignment was to do it like that, because most people have never done it. And you need to know what it feels like to do that. So I sat there for 3 hours converting what I'd written into a script.
That's harsh.
It was an interesting exercise. I will completely say that I don't wish to do it again.
It was
Fair
a fun exercise I never want to experience again.
I mean, yeah, somebody wanted to take my stories and turn it into a screenplay. I would want to be there with them doing it, but I don't think I would want to actually be the one.
So, Silver wants to know, Raven, if you can write him a story about him getting your car.
Oh, God.
No. Here, I'll answer this one. There we go.
Silver.
You're not getting my
wrong,
part.
you're in the wrong part of the country.
He's in the wrong country.
He's in the wrong country
Yeah,
entirely.
he's in the wrong country. Well, I kind of think of Canada and the U.S. being somewhat related.
We're like your little brother who sits on who bugs you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just talking about Canada the other day. We were talking about landmass and countries and how there are few countries that actually realize how much of a landmass, or few people in other countries that realize how much of a landmass the U.S. is.
It is
And
certainly a massive land. That's correct.
it's surprising to them. I had a friend that came over from Australia, and he was like, "I'm just going to drive from California all the way to New York," and I'm like, "You need more time."
Yeah.
He
It's like-
says, "Well, I've got 2 weeks," and I said, "Yeah, you need more time."
You're gonna need more time.
And he's like, "Well, it can't be that big," and I'm like, "Oh, yes, it can." And there are some states I don't want you driving through because it won't be safe for you.
Ooh.
Patience. More like we bug you guys.
It's fine. I like my Americans.
I like the Canadians I know. I haven't met a Canadian I don't like.
I have.
I'm sure you have.
Sorry, I had to.
I can't say the same thing about Americans. I can't say the same. I'm sure there are people out there that I would not like if I met them. But like I told you guys before the stream, I tend to look at I tend to look at people and see them as the best people that I believe they can be.
Hey, what's up, stranger?
Hello,
Fear the
dear.
Great Whites here.
Dun, dun,
What's going on,
dun,
dude?
dun, 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 dun.
Come on.
Yo.
OU is the Florida of Europe. Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing's the Florida of anything. Florida is the only Florida.
Florida's the only Florida of Florida.
Jesus.
Let me put it this way. My mother was from Miami. She was born in Miami.
Oh wow.
It's so bad that Florida is its own country. That's how bad it is. You walk in there, you're like, this isn't where I
That's
came
what she
from.
would
I'm
tell you.
scared.
She will tell you Florida is Florida. Florida is not the South. Florida is not the North. Florida is
It's Florida.
not the United States. It's Florida.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one of the problems that she has is the immigrants to Florida.
You mean all the old people?
Not only all the old people, but all the southern people. Because Florida has a huge influx from the islands as well as from the north.
Yep.
And the Florida man is an import. Florida
Right.
man does not belong to Florida. If he was, he would be called a Floridian.
See, I see Florida man. I think Florida man, and I think mullet, baseball cap, stained wife beater, basketball shorts, and Miller Lite in the hand.
How'd you
And-
just picture
And
my
that's pretty
husband?
damn American.
And you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
but those are that again. A lot of that stereotype is people who came into Florida from other states, and they aren't all elderly. A huge population of them are, but not all of them are.
My dad, one day we were driving to Florida, and he's like, I can hate this place. I'm like, why do you hate Florida so much, Dad? He's like, it's 50% old people, and then he's like 25% crazy and 25% junkies. He's like, it's the worst place on the freaking planet. And they went and built Disney World, and you call it the happiest place on earth. But I take you kids, you make me absolutely freaking miserable.
Don't you?
My dad went on a tangent for like 30
I will
minutes.
tell you, I spent a lot of my growing up until I was like 22, 23 in Florida. Well,
Yeah.
27 actually. And I never saw, other than the elderly drivers who really shouldn't be driving cars.
Elderly people driving in Florida is a nightmare.
I know. My grandfather drove in Florida, and he was an import, but he didn't drive the way these other elderly people drove. I mean, he got in that El Dorado, and he'd be booking it.
Everybody
Pam?
says everybody says, "Hey Pam," about how bad their state and their drivers are, and I'm like, you know what? Nothing beats the shitty driving of Florida.
No, Georgia's
Because I have never driven in a place where people have been almost killed me like 10 times in a matter of 5 minutes, and then decided to flick me off like it was my problem. They are a shit driver.
Clearly, you've never driven in downtown Kansas City, Missouri, nor Texas.
I have not.
And you've never driven in Georgia.
But I always find it amusing in Pennsylvania. It's like half the year snow, like in colder weather, and the other half is warm-ish weather and rain. And I swear to God, it's like people in Pennsylvania. If it rains, they freak out. If it snows, they freak out and they just forget how to drive. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people take the panhandle of Florida as part of Florida, unless you actually live in Jacksonville or further south. And they don't consider the panhandle as part of Florida. You know, that's South Georgia, South Alabama. The two states tried to annex it at one time, but it kind of failed because the people that lived there, so they couldn't handle them, so they left them in Florida. My mother-in-law is moving out of Florida back over here from Fort Walton because she got a place over there in the military widows complex, and she's like, these old biddies they don't even have a life. I can't live like this. Yeah. I'm like, damn, that's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
It does make it more confusing.
I just had to Google something because one of my friends who, actually lives in PA and I can go visit them, left a comment that said, LPOTL just released a fun episode about black-eyed kids. And I had no idea what LPOTL meant. So I had to Google it, and it's the last podcast on the left.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I, which is why I had to Google it.
But I've never heard it said that way. But black-eyed kids.
Well, she left it on my on the 3 through 5 of babysitting black-eyed kids.
I enjoyed that. I told you did a great job with that story. It just black-eyed kids. they always, even just the mention of them gives me the skivvies.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I ever want to scare you, I'll just say black-eyed kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Black Eyed Peas? Do those scare you too? 'Cause they scare me.
No, Black Eyed Peas. I really like Black Eyed Peas, both the music group and the actual food.
I have fergalicious nightmares. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Anyway.
You know, I don't know if y'all watch Top 10 Central Dark.
Nope.
No.
But Lucy McPhee is on there, and the way she is about spiders, that's me with Black-Eyed Kids. And one day I probably will do a story on Black-Eyed Kids, but
Today is not that day.
today is not that day.
I'm gonna write Mia a story about Black-Eyed Kids. I just got to learn a lot more about them because I know that they they come to your door, they knock and ask you to let them in, and you don't let them in. That's all I know.
That's pretty much it.
That's all you need to know.
There's got to be lore somewhere about what they are or where they come from. There has to be lore, and I will find it.
Doesn't seem terribly threatening. Just knock, knock, knock. Who's there? It's the kids. Go away.
You young whippersnappers.
The first actual story on them, and I can't remember the guy's name, it's out of Texas, he was in a movie parking lot and he was writing a check. He had the light on in his car and the doors were closed and locked. Mm-hmm. And he felt this feeling of dread. And he looked up and there were these two boys standing outside of his car. And they started knocking on the window. We came over here to watch a movie, but we forgot our money. Can you take us home and bring us back?
Uh-huh.
And the movie that they wanted to watch had already started. And he knew this. And then he noticed that their eyes were completely black. And the sense of foreboding got even worse. And he said when he did get away, because they got very belligerent with him because he wouldn't let them in his car. Which I think is has something to do with Karen attitude or the entitled people attitude. You have to do this because I'm asking you to. Mm-hmm. And he eventually got away, and he said he never felt safe at night in his car again.
Whenever Black-Eyed Kids go up to your house and knock on the door and ask you to let them in, and you say no, I always wonder what stops them from going to get gasoline and just burning your house down.
I don't know.
The law, PA. The law.
They're demonic devil children. They don't care about the law.
I know. I had to say something, though. Come on.
I just found that. I just sat here. I was thinking, there's a loophole to exploit there.
Well, I like the fact that it is explicit in their lore that they cannot enter without permission.
That almost makes them like vampires.
It's very, very vampirish.
Yeah.
Only they don't have the ability to make you let them in, like a vampire could possibly hypnotize you to have you let them in. But we don't do that often. I mean, they don't do that often. But they can't make you let them in. And somebody said, well, I don't ever hear about what happens when they let you in, when somebody lets them in. We're like, exactly. You don't hear from those people anymore. You let them in, they end up dead.
Or disappearing.
or disappearing. That's why the babysitting black-eyed kids was like, what?
Right? It's
When
just
I-
like, wait, what?
Yeah, when I saw that title, I was like, what? And I had to listen to it, and I still say you did a better job.
I don't even know who else narrated it. But thank you.
But yeah. Still no
Bla-
questions?
I,
People still don't.
I think the black-eyed kids one just play checkers.
I
Black
don't
Eyed
think
Kids
black-eyed
just-
kids want to play checkers.
Black-eyed kids just need a hug, okay? If you just give them a hug, they wouldn't hurt you.
As long as you
Probably.
do what they tell you to do, right?
Hey, I just think you know they didn't get enough hugs from their parents, so they just need a hug.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds horribly illegitimate.
It's like that scene in Jason X, that horrible movie. But it's like the guy gives Jason back his machete. It's like, it's fine. He just wanted his machete back. Insert blood curdling scream here.
It's fine. He just wanted his machete back. Oh, there goes his head.
That makes plenty of sense. Let's just give the psycho killer his machete.
Psycho
That's all he
kid.
wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's
I
good.
have a question,
I have an answer.
possibly. What advice would you give someone who has just started writing?
Just started writing. Do not give up on it, no matter how terrible you think your own writing is. We are more often than not our worst critic, and whenever you write something, you may read it and think, wow, that is absolute garbage. If you think so, then rewrite it. But the point is, never, ever, ever stop.
And
If you
never,
stop... Go on.
Never throw out a piece.
Yes. So even if it's absolute garbage, keep it off to the side, rewrite it later if you want to. But the point is, never stop. Consider every time you write something to be a draft or a version. What?
Hey, Philia's here.
I feel you.
Filia. What keeps
com-
them from just walking in the house? I don't know, but they can't enter.
The law.
Exactly, the law. Thank you, PA.
You're welcome.
Also, try to find a close friend, loved one, family member, whatever, who is willing and able to read your writing and help you grow. Having an audience member that can tell you what they liked and disliked makes things a lot easier.
It also helps if that person knows grammar and spelling.
Right.
Hey, stop taking shots at me.
I feel hurt.
I did not say anything about you.
No, but we thought it.
I did, and I was thinking about myself.
But for real,
I know. I'm giving him a hard time. Come on now.
yeah.
I
But for
know,
real,
I know.
Raven said practically the same thing to me. And in fact, if it wouldn't have been for Raven, like when I sent Raven my first story, and he liked it, I probably would have just said, you know what, screw this, I'm done.
Well, we've got
Yeah.
a couple, other than Filia, we've got Christine and we've got Amateur Animator who's joined us.
We got friends.
We got friends.
That's
Everybody
a strong
remember
word.
everybody remember to like the stream.
Yes, please do.
We have more likes than
Now-
viewers at the moment, so we're doing pretty good.
We do that all
We
the
got
time.
20
now.
likes and 12 viewers. The math doesn't add up, but it's adding up in our favor, so I like it.
I was told once by a much better author than I am, if you want to improve your writing, keep writing and read.
Right.
Read what you want to write because it will help you in your writing.
Yes.
I wouldn't call myself much better than you, Mia. I know.
I wasn't
I know.
talking about you.
Twice. That was Steve Stockton.
No, it wasn't.
Really? Because he said that exact same thing on our interview when we interviewed him.
No, he was not the first person that ever said that to me.
I've
But
heard
yeah.
I've heard that advice a few times actually, personally.
But yeah,
I
it's
actually
good.
was
It's
given
really
that
good advice.
advice in 1996. So, meh.
So
Yeah.
I just spat in my own eye.
It's like you guys probably wouldn't. I don't know how many people would appreciate who gave that advice to me, so I won't give his name unless somebody really wants to know.
Well, now that you've said that, I need to know.
Orson Scott Card.
I have no idea who that is. Cool.
He's a science fiction, award-winning science fiction author.
Okay, that's neat. That's actually pretty cool.
That's actually really awesome.
No, not 1896 Pogs.
Yes, 1896. That's totally what she said.
Off by a century there, buddy.
Okay, it was really 746, but that's beside the point.
So Raven, on a follow that question, what advice do you have for people who get stuck like with writer's block and all that good jazz?
Step away from your current project, start something new, and then come back to it. That's the main thing. It's always helped me.
Nice.
Alternatively, finding that second person, that audience of one, that you're willing to share it with if they have any ideas. So.
I just go and cry to certain people whenever I get like that. I mean,
Yes,
what?
lying on the floor and crying in a fetal position is also very helpful.
Make
That's
sure
how
you
I get through most of my days.
make
And
sure
when
you have a
they're-
good pillow.
And when they're lying on the floor crying, I run in pianos.
Exactly.
No, he's not racist. He's LDS, and he believes in his. He gets. He's
Wait.
made some homophobic remarks. At least they were taken that way. Okay,
Who are we talking about?
Orson
I'm
Scott
lost.
Card,
Wow.
but they weren't. I don't know how to express this. It has more to do with his faith than him. So Raven is
everyone-
the lamest.
Yeah, I was just informing Pam that
You
that
are
Raven
the
guy is
lamest.
the worst, literal
Yeah,
worst.
yeah.
You're always so
Imposter
mean to
syndrome
this
for the
Raven.
win. What?
You're always so mean to this Raven guy.
I hate that guy.
Isn't anyone who's
That Raven guy is the bee's knees.
That's such a weird turn of phrase.
Anybody who someone else might not agree with in any chosen state? Yeah, that's the thing. Okay,
Is this about to get political?
every one of us have things that we may not agree with somebody else about,
I hope not, Raven.
because I mean, PA will say this piece of this sentence is shit, and I'll read it and go, that's not shit, that's actually a really good sentence. There's Raven Investigates. Hey, when you putting out a new video, dude?
Yeah, go away and make content, Raven Investigates. You suck. As the Raven dreams is the bee's knees.
These.
I said it just because you're like, that's a weird statement, and I'm like, well,
No, it's a word
I'm
to your
gonna
phrase.
keep-
I've always
I'm gonna-
said it is.
I'm gonna keep using it because I.
But I mean, I support everybody having their opinion and their beliefs. What I don't support is trying to force them down my throat.
Mhm.
I don't have to believe or even think the same way as you, because if I did, we'd all be the same. And what would be the fun with that? I mean, it would be so boring. This world would be boring
Yes.
if everybody was exactly the same. But I will fight to make sure that you have your right to your opinion and to voice it. That doesn't mean I agree with it. It just means I agree that you have the right to have that.
Sorry, I went Beastie Boys on you there for a second.
Yeah. Bees and
That-
measles.
Well, no, because you said I'll
The
fight for
stream
your
has
right
gone
to.
the dogs. The stream has gone to the dogs in a bad way. Ravens investigates here. Oh, amateur animators had a good look at those bees' knees.
Yeah, well,
See, I have to
bees
say
have little
opposite to
awkward knees, and they have laughing stocks of the knee world.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
those bees are gonna fly in and sting you in the ass, and you're gonna be running away screaming.
And then what are you gonna investigate? Anyways.
Yeah, yeah. What are you gonna investigate, Raven?
How are you going to investigate?
So, Raven, what is the worst thing someone can do as a writer?
Quit.
No, like, I mean that, yeah. But I meant like
yeah.
aside from quitting, like that would hurt a story over, rather than help it.
Overusage of tropes and
Yeah.
consistently used ideas. I do believe tropes are fine, in their own nature, but if they're overused and you fill a horror story with nothing but tropes, at that point you're just writing an 1980s horror movie. So
You're
No,
also
no,
not
all
you're
those
writing,
are.
surprising
You're right.
anyone.
you're writing Cabin in the Woods.
But- Well, no, they did that on purpose, though. Cabin in the
yes,
Woods.
I know they did. They did a great job with what they did. I enjoyed that movie. I really did.
I remember
I'm-
when it
you're-
started. I'm like, am I in the right movie? Like, am I watching the right movie?
Yeah. 'Cause
Right.
I seem to have been here before, and I know I haven't watched this movie before. You do your own artwork, which amazes me.
yes,
And I love the Raven.
thank you.
His Among Us characters are just mwah, chef's kiss.
I need to redraw some of them. I need to redraw or draw the new ones. I gave one to 42 and then one to Stormy, and I need to make one for like you and everyone else.
I need
But
to
apparently
actually-
Bard's gonna go ahead and take that from me, so let him do that.
I need to actually play that game. I've got it. I've had it on my computer for 6 to 8 months.
It's fun if you have someone that you know to play with.
I just haven't had time to do it
Sure.
between my health and other things. What is your, and PA knows where I'm coming from this. What is your worst spelled word?
That is a really hard one, just because I don't typically misspell things.
He's not me and friggin' PA.
No. That is a really good question. Don't get me wrong. I'm just, what do I misspell a lot? Like, I don't feel like I misspell things a lot. Like, I'm pretty good at it. Patience. If you had to give me a word I commonly misspell, what would it be?
Words are hard. Raven.
The look that I'm getting.
Words are hard. Raven 2021.
Yeah. That's right up there with "It'll kill me, it's fine." Raven 2020.
I literally spell check my grocery list.
Yeah, she's
I
shaking
do
her head.
too.
I honestly can't think of anything that I frequently misspell. I sometimes make, typing too fast typos, but I don't
Mhm.
typically misspell. Yeah,
Sesquicentennial.
sesquicentennial is one I definitely misspell frequently. I've used that in every story I've written. It's crazy. No. But no, I really can't think of any. I apologize. That's not a
that's
good answer,
okay.
but I really can't think of. Hard time spelling the word.
Word.
When you get your fingers typing too fast, I get that so well,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I misspell the word "the."
Yeah.
I started misspelling the word hey. Yeah, I've done that. And hey is now HYE.
You know, okay. Thank you, Silver. That's actually a good way to put it. I think the most frequently mistyped thing that I do is like the word weird.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
say that's probably the one. Because the EIIE thing, I frequently misspell that.
I still want their Amazon has it. They have a cup that says I before E, except after C, and in case it's in blah 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 blah. And it gives all these ways that it's not I before E, and
Nice.
I think that is why I never really got that particular rule buried in my head. Because there's so many exceptions to it. It's not a real rule.
No, it's
Right.
not.
It's more like a suggestion.
Yeah.
To respond to Mr. Amateur Animator, the phobia for long words, hippopotamus dosequipedalia phobia, is impossible to spell. Good luck.
But he knew it right off the top of his head. He's like,
I do. Hippopotamus dosequipedalia phobia.
Whoever decides to name that is a jerk.
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
like, just looking at it, like, I have the phobia of long words. And then you're like, you look at what it's called, you're like, okay,
Oh, wow.
now my anxiety is through the roof. Thanks.
So he does that to patients? I've done
Yeah,
that.
I do. If
I've
there's
done that.
if I get like hard locked in a certain word in a sentence, I will just rewrite the sentence. But I can't even think of any like specific words where I do that frequently. I just know that if I hard lock into a word and I get like my brain doesn't work with it, I just skip it or I rewrite it.
See, one of PA's is also one of my husband's.
Does?
Yes. Both of you spell it dose every time.
Yeah. And it's gotten to the point where I know I spell it wrong. So I'll go spell it like DOSE and I'll go big ES. Because I know my brain just automatically gonna spell it dose, and so instead of trying to fight it, I just let it happen and fix it.
I think mine's either shrugs or special. Which I wrote there the wrong way on purpose.
I remember in like freaking middle school, like the first year of middle school, we were having like when we started some spelling tests. In one of the spelling tests, one of the words was apocalypse. The other one was people. I couldn't spell people to save my life, but I had no problem spelling the word apocalypse.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, because you're PA.
I think that that's not an abnormal issue. I think excuse me, at some point, and I don't know if I'll have to check with my granddaughter. I don't know if they still have real spelling tests anymore. Because I know at one point, hey Raptor Rex,
What's up, Raptor?
they would accept anything for the spelling of a word,
What?
especially common words, because it would hurt the self-esteem of the child. And I'm
God.
like, screw the self-esteem of the child. If they can't spell, you need to teach them how to spell.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
dyslexic and I still
You
agree
know
with that.
You know the worst, and
My
one of the
mother
worst
was
inventions
dyslexic.
that we've given kids in schools is participation trophies.
Oh God.
Nope.
Micro,
Dropping that one. Nope, drop it.
Is this about to get political again?
Yeah, that's political. Let's
Micro-
not talk about that.
Micro patchy sepsaloff.
Oh, Micropachycephalosaurus.
Is that a
Yeah.
dinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the saurus that got me.
It's like up until like the Asaurus part, I was lost.
I'm also curious what Japherophobia is what I have. It's fear. Oh, crossing bridges.
Yeah,
Interesting.
amateur
I actually have
animator,
anxiety
you-
over that too.
My
You
sister's
do not want
horrified
to
of
come
it.
down here and cross the Pontchartrain Bridge.
Wait, you live in Louisiana, right?
Yes.
I love that bridge.
That dinosaur's pretty badass looking. I'm not gonna lie. I copied the name and looked it up on Google. It's pretty badass looking.
Yeah, my husband's
So,
actually from Louisiana, so we went across
So-
that bridge. I loved it.
So
When was it? When was that?
2013.
Okay, that's the new bridge.
So-
Then,
my sister
because the
used,
original bridge literally was missing parts after Katrina.
Yeah, no, this was
So I think-
quite a while after Katrina.
I'm sorry if you guys heard that. Somebody on the other end of the house was dying of coughing.
somebody just sneezed on my end. So my sister used to be deathly afraid of bridges because apparently when she was younger, my dad made a joke about stopping and throwing her off the bridge if she didn't stop being a little shit, and she thought he was serious, and it gave her the phobia of bridges.
Nice. A bit, out there. But nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they actually, and this is something that I haven't heard of happening before. They actually found somebody who disappeared under the waters of Pontchartrain, which is not normal. Normally, if you disappear under the waters of Pontchartrain, they just plan your funeral because they're not going to find you.
Yeah, that lake's
Damn.
huge.
The lake is humongous, and it is not as polluted as it used to be,
That's good.
thanks to the
Like-
Christmas trees.
I like bridges. They're like every time we go
I love
over,
bridges.
they're like every time we get towards a body of water, or I get this feel like it's a like there's almost an aura around water that calms me, and so whenever I don't even have to see it. I just know when we're around a body of water, and it'll just be relaxing. I've fallen asleep while we were crossing a bridge before, like we were driving to Florida and we got stuck in traffic on a bridge, and my sister's there freaking out, and I'm just sitting there just laying in the back seat and relaxing just with music on, and I passed out.
Wow.
No.
Pam, I know that bridge. I've been across that bridge. That's a cool bridge. Amateur.
So bridges
You
are a
don't
nope for you then, Raven.
You don't
Uh,
want to walk
mild
the
anxiety.
Pontchartrain Bridge.
You
Walking
would hate
you-
it. It's like, what,
No.
15 minutes to get across it?
In a car.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very long, and I was quite
That's-
surprised by it.
Damn,
Oh yeah, no, it's a
Well,
huge fridge.
that's like
There-
what?
There's a point in it where you can't
Miles?
see land on either side.
Yep. It's really cool.
Nice.
And
I
now
want to
it's
see it.
much higher than it used to be, because it used to be, you know how it goes up in a hill now? It didn't used to do that. The reason they did that was because literally part of the reason why Katrina took away parts of it was the water literally came up over the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
So when they put the new bridge in, they raised it up into the air, quote unquote.
That was probably a good idea, at least then.
Yeah, it was. It was a good idea. It's a much better bridge, better built bridge than the bridge we had before. But I still remember John Seidel from the Weather Channel standing right in front of that bridge when they just showed the bridge on the screen, and the other person he was talking to says, "Now, aren't you near that bridge?" And he's like, "No, that one's on the other side of the county." And go, "Well, first of all, Louisiana doesn't have counties. Second of all, you're standing right in front of the damn thing."
Yeah.
Louisiana doesn't have counties.
No, they're, what are they called? They're
They're parishes.
parishes, that's it.
They tried to make them counties, and because Louisiana was at the time mostly French
Mm-hmm.
and mostly Catholic,
Yeah.
they balked against the counties, so they went back to parishes.
And
So
they've never
we have
changed.
parishes,
Well, log
and they
and
won't change.
Yeah.
The people. It's so ingrained in the people down here. They can't accept counties.
And yeah, actually, I have to say, driving, like, I didn't drive in it, but my husband did. Louisiana had to be one of the most, like least stressful places my husband has had me in the car driving. Like, everyone was just so polite there. It was weird.
We do have a lot of people polite here, especially in driving. We do have our occasional,
Everyone has their assholes, but anyways.
yeah. I still have not had anybody pass me on an on-ramp or an off-ramp for the interstate in Louisiana, so I consider that a good thing. I have had that happen elsewhere.
I liked New Orleans whenever I went. That was fun.
New Orleans is... Okay, when I first moved down here, I didn't want to have anything to do with New Orleans because I'd heard all these stories about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was during the time when there's police. The police and sheriff's office aren't really the best now either, but they're not like they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
They were the most corruptive that they ever were at the time I moved down here. So I wanted nothing to do with New Orleans. And with having moved down here, within 5 years, I literally loved New Orleans. I would go down there by myself and walk around.
New Orleans.
I bet you don't say New Orleans. It's New Orleans.
It's
New Orleans.
Nolans. It's
Nol-
Nolans.
Nolans or Norlands if you're a weirdo like me.
New Orleans, but I'm French. Anyways.
Yeah, I said New Orleans, and I had somebody correct me quickly and say, no, it's Nolans. What? Nolans.
Yeah.
No,
You missed some letters there. Nope, that's what it is.
Yeah.
that's not English. No, it's French. But anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there
was
once.
quite a
Cool.
mess. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I've only been
Yes.
once as well, and I want to go back.
I would love to go back. The food was good.
Mm-hmm.
I've been twice since, no, I've been more than twice since Katrina, but I haven't been able to actually spend the time that I used to. Now I probably never will be able to again, but that's another story. But I enjoy going down to the French Quarter, which sounds really wrong if you know the history of the French Quarter.
Yes.
But I really enjoyed going down to the French Quarter and just walking around. Now, yes, you take a risk doing that because people have had... One of my coworkers, when I was working for my former employee the first time, literally was down there and he felt something warm running down his leg and he couldn't figure out what. Put his hand back there and it was wet. And he felt that his pants had been cut open. Somebody had taken a razor blade that was so sharp that he sliced his pocket open, let his wallet drop out, got his wallet, and they also cut his leg when they did it.
Damn.
That's really
And
sharp.
he didn't feel it until he felt blood going down his leg. But I never had an experience like that down there. I had nothing but good experiences down there.
Same.
And actually had, there in Jackson Square where they've got all of the artists and the tarot readers and psychics and
Yeah.
all of them out around with their stands around the in front of the cathedral around the park area.
Yeah.
Actually had a couple of them that knew me by sight and would be, did you put on your sunscreen today? Have you had something to drink yet? You better go get yourself something to drink, girl.
Nice.
It was, it's just a really nice, friendly, let's take care of each other type laissez-faire attitude.
Yeah. No, it was. Like I said, I've been down there once. I was down there once for a tech conference of all things. And it was awesome. I loved it down there. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to get on one of them boat thingies and go in the water down where the, where they got the river stuff and everything like that.
So,
Band
Amateur
chess,
has a
not
question.
nat chess.
Amateur had a question for Raven. Raven, are ravens just deluxe versions of crows?
Yes. The
No.
deluxest.
Raven, why are you so
Raven, John's
epic,
not
bro?
here, but he still wants me to ask: are falcons the same as crows? Raven?
No. And I am done with this interview. Goodbye. No. Favorite dinosaur species? Triceratops.
No, he doesn't have to think about it.
Why are you so
Triceratops are
epic, bro?
badasses.
I'm not.
Why are you so awesome?
How
How does it
not.
feel to be so awesome? Is actually what Pam asked.
Actually,
No, please. Go on, PA.
I have a legit question for you. So your channel has popped off, man. You started a little over a year ago, and you're 3K. Did you think your channel was gonna grow that quick?
No. I never
Yeah,
would have never anticipated hitting 3,000 subs ever, much less within, the 14 months, 15 months that I did.
Ravens or falcons?
Please,
Ravens are not falcons. Ravens are ravens, and they're
Please,
more
for the love
awesome
of
than
God.
falcons.
please stop. Please just make it stop.
I'm
Make it
just
stop.
reading what Pam said.
I know.
I know they're not. I love
I know.
Ravens.
I'm being
I'm
facetious.
instilling that into the next generation as well, by the way. Just saying.
Raven's gonna be like, I'm gonna end John for this. He's plotting his demise.
So, why horror?
Well, actually, fun fact: I don't actually do horror in and of itself only.
Yeah, I know.
I do. Fair enough. I've always prided myself on doing stories that I find interesting. A lot of that does lean into horror, the creepy encounters, the paranormal stories. Mostly because I feel comfortable doing that because what I used to listen to, which mostly was Joel, Let's Read, and people like Swamp
Love
Dweller.
Joel.
Right, me too. People like Let's Read, Swamp Dweller, Southern Cannibal, Your Maker, back whenever I used to actually do stories.
Your maker.
So I used to listen to them day in and day out, like I used to say. So I think I kind of leaned on that because I'm comfortable with it and it's what I know, because it's what I personally loved. Which, and I know you didn't ask this, but that is the advice I would give to somebody starting a YouTube channel. Do something that you love, because your love of something will shine through your work.
And key phrase, love, not like.
Right.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
just
Love,
like
not
it-
like.
Exactly. It has to be something you actually are passionate for and love.
That's
Amateur
why
animator?
that's why I
You and
only
me both.
read fiction on my channel, because where I enjoy listening to the true stuff, I don't enjoy reading it.
Right. And that's fair. But like I said, I love those channels. I used to love MCP, still do. But I also did used to. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. My point is, like I said, it's I feel comfortable doing what I do because it's what I enjoy. The Glitch in the Matrix stories, which have absolutely helped my channel grow like crazy.
I love those stories.
So I started doing those because Hellfreezer stopped doing them. Believe it or not. Yes. Because I love Hellfreezer, and he doesn't do them much anymore. He does like once a month. And then he had his medical issues, and I was like, well, you know what? I really like these stories, and he doesn't do them as much, so I started doing them. And it actually intrigued me that I actually had someone come to my channel and say, you're the only narrator that does these right, other than Hellfreezer, and he hasn't done them for a while. So I was like, I actually got people who liked Hellfreezer to listen to my stuff. I was like, yay, success.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, Mandy, I went from Obsolete Oddity, which I bet nobody here knows about except me, to Your Maker, to Let's Read, to Jensen, and then I met everybody else.
You know, Raven, it still astounds me that I don't know how old your channel was at like 35 subscribers, but it still astounds me that like I just randomly got recommended your channel while you were doing a live stream, and I'm like, I'm gonna find out, I'm gonna check this guy out, and then I found out me and you both worked at Blockbuster, and I'm like, oh, I gotta support Raven because he's a Blockbuster bro, and we gotta stick together.
I agree.
Ravens in England are 3 feet tall.
The Ravens in
That is
Utah are also
badass.
3 feet tall. Trust me. The Raven that I fed in Utah, that bugger was big.
So I don't know what kind of bird it was.
Ravens can get big.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of bird it was, but I was driving down driving, and this massive bird was just chilling on the road. And I'm like, is this thing gonna fly away? And no, this sucker, like I get within like 5 feet of him, and he just goes, and now I'll move. And he flies up, and I'm like, I slowed down a lot because I'm like, if this son of a bitch hits my windshield, it's gonna break my windshield.
Yeah, those are fun. I love those times.
I kind of think of ravens as being having some Thunderbird genes in them because of the sizes they can get to.
I can see that. They're definitely they're absolutely beautiful birds up close. Like if you can get close to one, they're smart as hell. I fed one crackers. Sorry. Whenever Patience and I did our road trip a long time ago, because it was one of those years where it's like, hey, we have a little bit of money right now. We can do something. Let's do a road trip because we've never done that. We drove north and then west and then south and back home. So like up through Nebraska, South Dakota, whatever's next to South Dakota, Wyoming, and then Utah, Colorado home, so Kansas. And it was one, a lot of fun, and two, it was a great time. Got to see a lot of cool things, and then especially the Ravens in Utah. Loved that.
Okay, so I know you complain a lot about there being nothing in Kansas.
There's nothing in western Kansas.
So why do you stay?
Because he lives in eastern Kansas.
There's an answer there that's way more complex than that, but let's go with that.
Okay.
I'm in denial about
you
his
have
love
the
for
right-
Pennsylvania.
You have the right not to answer questions because we all hold that right.
Sure, and it's not that I don't want to answer the question. Trust me, it's just
We'd be here for another year.
potentially I don't feel like I can leave yet.
Gotcha. That's good reason. And animator, the 400, I feel you there. I feel you there. I just made it just before the new year, so I feel you there. Matter of fact, I just did my 400 sub live stream.
Actually,
So I'll say this to anyone who wants to hear me say it. The only reason I got to where I did, and I actually said this to somebody this morning, so I was growing at a decent pace for the first December to January, February, March, first 3 months of my channel. And then the end of the third month of my channel, March, I was doing like a video every day just for fun. I was like, hey, I have some extra time, so I did it. And then April, I put out a post on Twitter saying, I'm thinking about doing a video every day in April. Should I do it? And of all the people who I didn't know at the time and never would have expected to ever contact me. Oh, sorry, we're pushing over. Anyways, Swamp Dweller comments saying you should do it. And because of that, I did. So from there, I did a video a day for almost an entire year. Sorry, let me phrase that. I did a video almost every day for an entire year, and that is what got me to where I am. Yeah. So, and that's not dogging anyone who can't do that. I'm not trying to do that in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have the extra time to push so much content. If you feed the machine will feed you back.
Yeah,
Right.
and that honestly, that's why I started doing 2 videos, but I don't have time to do more than that.
Right.
Yeah, I physically can't do a video every day.
Right.
But then again, my process, because I've watched your process. That's one of the things that I'm actually you inspired me to do that, is to actually do live streams where I'm going to actually show what I do.
Right.
Probably not one video. It's probably going to be different videos.
Mhm.
But my process is so different from yours. It's not
Well,
funny.
my process is hard to match only because I'm literally insane. I do things
No,
at a
mine's
pace-
much more.
Love that because I'm literally insane.
well, I do things at a pace and process that most people can't personally follow. I don't know why I do things so differently. It's just how my brain works.
Mm,
Well, I do know that I subscribe to
exactly, amateur.
I subscribe to the Raven philosophy of edit while you're doing it. If you mess up, you just delete it and you start over again. And where that takes extra time in the recording process,
It saves
the
a hell of a lot
ultimate
of
time that
later.
you save in the editing process
Yes.
is well worth it.
Yes,
And-
if you can cut yourself, cut out the errors and redo it like as you're going, it saves so much time.
Yeah, I've been doing that since the beginning.
I
See, I
try to.
I used to
And-
do the let's record everything and then re-listen to it, and I realized that was making a 10-minute long story take 30 minutes to just edit.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to get like together, and it was just now I take 15 minutes to record and it's done. That's it.
The other thing that helps is in the editing process, it cuts down, and this is something. Maybe it's a pet peeve of mine because I know I've done it and had to catch it more than once, even though I edit while I record. It cuts down on the number of. She walked into the room.
Right.
Before, the double lines, it cuts that down, and
Right.
yes, it doesn't get all of them, but it does cut them down. And like I said, it's a pet peeve of mine when I hear somebody else do it, especially like somebody like MCP, which I'm like, I realize he has somebody else edit his stuff, but
My
he's
favorite-
This should be
paying
perfect,
you-
to be honest.
He's literally paying you to catch this shit. What's your problem?
Yeah.
There was one video of MCP's that I listened to a long time ago, and I loved it because he said a line, and then because he was like, she walked into the room and she walked into, oh shit, like he literally said that and it was left in the video. Like he caught himself saying it again
Well-
and then left the air, like it got left in. It's like, how did you guys miss that?
Well, dude,
And-
that was like Vidith the one day. He had it wasn't a mistake as much as it was an oopsie. He was supposed to insert footsteps, and he's like, insert footsteps here, but he never inserted them. He just he left it where it said insert footsteps here, and I was like, I died laughing.
I actually did that in one of my videos, but mine was intentional. I meant to leave it in there. The paranormal stories one recently, there was a thing, it was like insert crashing noise here, and I just read insert crashing noise here because I wasn't going to put a sound effect in a ghost story.
I can remember that. It's little things like that, and I even messaged him. I'm like, dude, you made my freaking day with that. And he's like, what did I do? And I'm like, and I told him, and he's like, really? I can go listen to it.
Yeah, amateur. I know what you mean there, and of course, my process doesn't take quite as long as yours because you're actually animating the story.
Yeah.
That is amazing to me completely. I'm surprised you're able to get a 4 to 6 minute video done in a week. That's amazing. But yeah, even Joel leaves them in sometimes. It's just a pet peeve of mine because I hear people that I know are paying editors to take things like
Right.
that out, and they miss it. It's like you literally have a job to do to get rid of that.
Yeah, if you're paying somebody to edit your videos, they should be perfect because that's
No
what that
one's
person's being paid for.
perfect. No one
No.
is perfect.
Perfect.
No,
But it
But there
should
should
be
be no duplicate lines in a
It should be
story.
an absolute rarity if you're seriously paying them to do that kind of
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
always forgiving, like once or twice, but after that, like within reason, then it's like, okay, you're not doing your job. But
Oh, and
no one's
it
perfect.
It happens in almost every one of MCP's videos, and sometimes it even happens multiple times in one video.
Yeah. And it makes it, like I
And-
said, it irks me.
Yeah, they need a different editor then.
But
I have
When
noticed
we're
his
doing it-
videos have gotten better, so he either got a new one or he's had a stern talking to with the person who's editing his videos.
You have Asia's problems? I can tell you Asia's problems.
but
So
do we need to cut it? I know we're
it is
going over
8:30.
far.
42. You ready to?
Yeah.
Okay.
We get into this, and it's just like, where did the time go?
Hey,
Agreed.
friends. Well, somehow an hour and a half has passed, and it felt like 15 minutes. But that happens.
And I do need to get into one of your coffee morning streams, even though I don't drink coffee.
Shameless plug. Tomorrow morning, I will
8:30
be
p.m. Central.
yes at 9:30 a.m. Central. I mean
Eastern.
EST. I'm gonna be Raven's guest tomorrow, so y'all should show up and listen to the morning chaos.
Yes.
And then the
that-
following Saturday, he's my guest on my coffee stream.
Yep.
More
See,
chaos.
Sunday is an amazing. Yours is on Saturday, isn't it? 42.
Yes.
Okay, so Sunday is an amazing morning for the most part because I could go from Raven to Sabian.
Nice.
Because
Shit.
Raven,
I've learned so much about your guest. Nice to meet you, Raven.
patience. I love you,
Who
patience.
are meeting? Patience.
I love hearing patience in the background
going to-
giggling.
I'm going to block her from the channel.
I can put her in
Just-
timeout if you want.
/
No,
block
you can't. She's a mod.
Patience G.
Yeah, I can. I've put a mod in timeout before.
She has. She put one of my mods in timeout before.
It was a joke. I didn't know what to
anyways.
do.
Well, you did it, and I'm like, 42. You just completely trashed everything Silver said since the start of the stream. Thank you.
Just silver. Who
Sorry.
cares?
I apologize
I
a lot. He laughed his butt off, though. He said he was laughing so hard.
Yeah, I've actually done that on another person's live stream. I was listening to it, and I had my phone on my knee, and my headphone cable put somebody in timeout. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Patience has accidentally timed out somebody in my live streams before.
Yeah, I still don't know how she did
Happened
that.
the other day, actually.
Wasn't it 42? You did it too? Oh. Oh no, yeah, that was it wasn't Mudley, it was the other one. It was what? Was it Mandy P? Okay. Well, it was somebody. Anyways, yeah, they were new to the stream. It was their first coffee stream, and at the end of it, she accidentally put him in timeout.
But they were good sport
Like,
about it,
welcome to
and
the stream. Stop
they
talking.
didn't leave.
And
Right.
see, Raven knows when I miss the coffee streams or any other streams because if I'm actually feeling good, I'm sitting there listening to it and making comments down in the comment section. He gets this book for
Yes.
comment.
But that's okay. And if you can't make it to the coffee stream, I never hold it against you. It's completely fine. I understand people have lives and things to do, so it's never expected but always appreciated.
Yeah, most of the time I'm asleep.
That's fair.
Most of the time I wake up, Raven has been going for about a half an hour. I say hi, I'm going to work, and then then when I get to work, it's when I actually start to chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
But-
awake in my room.
we've done it again. We've bought
Yeah.
another 5 minutes, guys.
Yeah,
But,
we should probably shut the hell up.
But everybody, thank you for coming. You all are great. We love you, all of you,
They're okay.
except for that silver guy. Whatever.
I like the silver guy. He's pretty cool. He's
Except he
pretty
wants
cool.
your car all the time.
That
I-
never mind. I don't like that silver guy.
I like the silver guy because I like to play with the spiders. So yeah.
I do like the spiders.
But everybody, thank you for coming. Make sure to tune in next week. Our guest next week is Vidith22. It's gonna be a good show.
A much
It's
better
gonna be
guest than I am.
amazing.
I don't
It's
know
a
if that's
lot.
possible, Raven. You're like the most amazing guest
No.
because you're Bird Jesus.
Nah, Vid's so much better than me. Come on now. Don't even compare him to me. I am nowhere near the league he's in. Vid is a beautiful baby boy.
He is.
Two
he
people
is
of my
beautiful.
top 5 favorite narrators is Raven and Vidith. Okay,
Okay, that's fair.
You're in the same league as him.
Still a beautiful baby boy.
He is though.
Well,
But,
actually, Jensen's in there too, PA.
Jen-
But
But everybody, thank you for coming. We love all of you.
yes, we do. And
42, you're here. I'm waiting for you to say your catchphrase.
Once you join the Nevermore, or once you join, you can leave Nevermore. I said it wrong. once you join the collective, you can leave Nevermore.
There we go.
there we go.
Rada.
Good evening, travelers.
Down around us, let the crew consume the just. Let the sin we swim in drown us. Let the world shatter into dust. Nothing else matters, only us. When kings have long been buried, when vows have long been lost, when the night brings fear and the lion's tears shall fall on fire and frost, this hopeless doomed devotion, the poison that I crave, I jumped anew to return to you, endure you till my grave. And I'm no man of honor, my guilt runs dark and deep. My oaths betray each other till there's nothing left to keep. Let it all burn down around us. Let the crew consume the just. Let the sin we swim in drown us. Let the world shatter into dust. Nothing else matters, only us. And they will raise our towers and spit upon our names. And the ravens back over the fields of ash will whisper our tales of shame. So let it all burn down around us. Let the crew consume the just. Let the sin we swim in drown us. Let the world shatter into dust. Nothing else matters.